Welcome to the October 30th vHive production user call. We have Levi, Jan, Gibran, Jonathan, and myself, Michael, so far. And thank you everyone who made the OpenZFS production user and developer summit such an awesome experience this last few days. Jonathan, you have issues with GPU support with, I believe, an Intel card. What do you have and what's going wrong?
Exactly. So it's an Intel. Can you hear me?
Yep, you sound great.
Yeah, Intel B 580, and I put in the chat the error I get
Oh, let me take a
and
look.
the configuration. I tried with the ROM, without the ROM. Uh, I read about it a bit here.
Okay, so funny, this came up at the ZFS event, and I happened to bring my Intel card. And Levi, you happen to find some issues. And on top
Yes.
of all that, Alex, he got his blog post up about much of this. So I'll put that as a topic while you explain what you've seen here. Go ahead, Levi.
So I got the same error. Um, Basically, thanks to Jan, yes, I was able to compile it manually, eHive that is, manually, and strip out the GBT-D support file. And that allowed the card to actually be passed through. So it looks like there's some sort of table in there that is looking and misappropriating the Intel Arc card as possibly a iGPU. So from what Jan has said, it sounds like it probably an easy fix.
So, as far as I understood the problem when Alexis discussed it, is that vHive just assumes that Intel, other than the old cards they know about that they don't support it, will support GVT-D going forward. And so, because the vendor code is Intel, this also matches Intel Arc cards, which do not use this. Instead, Intel Arc supports either full device pass-through, which is what you got working, and in theory, a single root I/O virtualization with virtual functions. But to allow the virtual functions to work, someone has to do the heavy lifting in the form of a compute kernel, which has to assist the virtual functions on the physical function. Nobody wants to implement that for FreeBSD right now. So you will not be able to split a single Intel Arc card between multiple guests or guest and host. Um, but yeah, now that Intel is no longer producing new chips with GVT-D support, we can in theory just list the interval of cards or the exact vendor product ID pairs of all cards which support this technology and kind of go from Intel above this to Intel in this range. And then it will keep on working for someone with, let's say, a Skylake laptop, but won't break Intel Arc on someone's newer desktop.
Levi, did you make a diff of your little changes? Yeah.
We just straight up deleted that file. So
Dude.
I that and
Yeah.
recompiled it, and that's what it worked. It took it. So let me pull up the Git for that.
Okay.
It was just a
Uh,
FreeBSD source Git under vHive. So
and Levi, your audio is very tinny and mechanical. Something's going wrong.
let me reboot.
Cool. Uh,
Thank you, guys. Yes.
yeah, no problem, because this came up literally in the last like 72 hours. And here is the blog post from Alexei on the topic. So I put that in the chat, I'll put it in the document, and he's covered it broadly, but I brought along some hardware, I brought along the ARC card, and funny that, Levi, you and was it you and Archie took the time to poke at it and make it work, eh? And
Yes.
and what video have you linked in chat?
That is Wendell from Level 1 Techs. He pushed out an update today regarding the SRIOV in Linux. So someone's actively working on it.
Let the race begin. SRIOV
again.
specifically?
Yes,
Or
the
with the
SRIOV
video goodies
functions.
or the networking?
No, SRIOV for ARC.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, then that is timely. Great. There's a link. Thank you for posting that.
The so the file we deleted was the PCI IDs, Intel GPUs.
Interesting. It
So,
compiled fine without it, or you had to
Yes.
modify the make file?
Nope, it actually compiled and we were able to execute vm-bhyve right from that directory.
Huh. So there you go, Jonathan. There is a link to the file. I'm surprised the build didn't choke, and you, as I recall, only had to rebuild the vm-bhyve 8 front end.
That's correct. Yeah, just the
Wow.
vm-bhyve file and everything else was left alone. So VMM was still running based on the internal one, and
Okay.
yeah, we were able just to execute and manually run a script with vm-bhyve. So
Is this the exact error you got, young man?
yes, sir. That's verbatim.
Well,
Yeah.
good. Whatever you
and
changed, your
as
audio just went to heck.
SD-WAN.
as
SD-WAN. Oh,
That's
thank
all I can
you,
say.
SD-WAN. Yes, Jan, what were you saying?
and as far as I know, you do not need a GPU BIOS for the Intel Arc card, so
Correct.
no need to extract any vBIOS and then expose it as a boot ROM.
Excellent. Makes it easier because
Yes,
it was
it does.
a
Plus, for the
mess of
integrated
finding it.
ones, go ahead, Jonathan.
Guys, sorry.
No, no, don't be sorry on this call. For the integrated ones, they have the PCI devices in predictable slot numbers, which is very nice. So yeah, Intel potentially is a great source of virtualization of graphics, but to date has been a little bumpy, and we can never tell if the ARC project is on or off. Is it defunded or not defunded? Don't know. So let's jump into Alexei's new blog that appeared like, I don't know, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. So,
By the way, do you guys know if when they got it to work through vm-bhyve, was it able in the VM to utilize the machine memory as well for workloads? Because
uh,
that's one of the,
think people are quite happy. And here is Alexei going through his efforts to get certain games working. So, one thing that stands out is the CPU pinning. He found dramatic performance differences. Pinned. Pinned in that, but nope, not that pinned. Um, Up to 50% performance differences depending on just the like even odd CPU pinning. So check out this blog post. I'll just do a quick little survey here. Boom, CPU pinning. Actually, I'll leave it right there for a sec. But
That's
hold on, let's go to your chat thing. You've put in for my findings. I cannot get around the error 43. Yes. Uh, yes, Jan.
if I remember correctly, an odd even pair is one physical core on the same hyperthread.
Okay.
So it's are the hyperthreads on the same on the same. So the hyperthreads on the same physical core, I think, are an odd even pair in FreeBSD. So core 0 and core 1, if they support hyperthreads, show up as CPU 1 and 0 and 1, and then CPU 2 and 3. Which means, of course, you will see different behavior if you share hyperthreads with the guest, because then you have shared resources
Yeah.
between your two hyperthreads.
Okay. Is this accurate to say even odd pairs should give you the same physical core?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Levi.
That's
Question, hopefully that's easy. So I know Intel has like the eCore, P-core. Does CPU pinning allow us to get around that?
yes, because it on a specific system, there's a split, and one set of cores, the lower or higher is the P cores, and the other is the E cores. That's not going to change between reboots. So you can create a CPU set, and for the P cores and one for the E cores, and then I don't know, put your cron daemon in the E cores so that your background cron jobs and other stuff run on the E cores. And then
Beautiful.
it's static, so there's no help to use eCores unless something, whatever. So there's nothing like on macOS where you can basically set per thread if its interactivity and its latency. So, so in, yeah. Because you could, hey, only basically run this thread when you have plenty of power and nothing else is going on. Such APIs do not directly exist in FreeBSD.
So what is the state of P-core, E-core support in FreeBSD? I recall a whole
The
lot of nothing.
scheduler is not aware.
Okay, thank you.
So they all show up as CPU cores, and the scheduler will try to even out the utilization among all cores. There's no built-in support to fill up a core before you start the next one. So you do not get optimal efficiency in partially loaded configuration. If you have barely any load, then nothing will run anyway, and it's not that important. If the system is fully loaded, it's not a problem because hey, everything is running anyway. So if all cores are well utilized, but in the middle, where desktops spend most of their time, where like, oh, here's this stupid little Electron application running in the background, which I don't know, runs half of one efficiency core spinning an animated cursor or something like that.
Okay.
Then FreeBSD is going to use more power than an operating system which knows what belongs where. You can manually configure your system to have basically three CPU set, one CPU set with only the P cores, one with only the E cores, and one with everything. And then you can assign your applications to these CPU sets. So it's just like you could launch stuff with sudo. As a wrapper, but yeah.
Cool.
So let's say you have, I don't know, some CI setup on your development workstation. You could use the eCores for background compilation, updating, tab completion indices, whatever tooling you're using, running the language server. And then put Xorg and other stuff on the P cores
Okay.
or Wayland, whatever.
Welcome, Hans, and welcome, Alexander. Hans, do you have any news from a certain organization about a certain proposal?
No. No news at all.
So, while hacking away at Intel ARCs during the OpenZFS event, we also noticed that the CPU topology manual page was lacking an example and lacking spelled out text. I brought that to Alexander's attention, and Alexander, thank you for poking at that. And it sounds like you've got some expanded documentation for the manual page.
That's correct. I merged it this morning. Where basically what was going on was that the flag, the CPU topology flag, just said -C, and then like it showed topology. Like it didn't actually show the exact breakdown of how it's used. So I changed that to show the exact breakdown of how it was used and committed that this morning.
Oh, committed.
After
Do you have a
my
link to that?
APU2 finished a 42-hour build warrant.
You mentioned doing it on the least appropriate hardware and something G GCC or whatever Google Compute credits, but that's a whole different bucket of whatnot. Do you have a link to that change?
Sure. Let me dig it up. Oh, wow. Nobody's been working on FreeBSD today. It's still there.
It's still there. Okay. You're top of the pile? You're top of the Git?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah. Here's the link in the chat to the repo, to the commit. Oh, unfortunately, I messed it up. That's in my repo, not the main repo.
Oh,
but it doesn't
okay.
matter. I pushed it to the main repo.
Yeah, okay. Hans, I'm going to write Joseph right now on that topic because, yeah, no.
So I credited Levi and the event, even though I didn't get to go.
Oh, you did?
I was there
Well,
with you
thank
guys
for
in
that.
spirit.
I
Oh, happy
appreciate
to.
that. Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, please call me with more doc suggestions.
Oh, careful what you ask for because OpenZFS needs some love, and we firmly concluded that at the event.
Oh
Some
no,
of it's obvious, but okay.
everybody's keeping score. I'll increment my counter whenever. The only issue is most of the time when we have this kind of issue, like we know a lot of OpenCFS doc is rough, but it's like we don't have a concrete suggestion. It's just like, man, if only somebody who really knew everything could fix this. That's not a concrete suggestion. What you guys gave me there was a concrete suggestion, and I was happy to do it.
Awesome. How concrete is Jan's suggestion in chat?
Let's have a look.
A VNet man page, manual page.
A VNet intro man page. We have a image or VNet man page, but it's in section 9, kernel APIs, and explains the push and pop and not how to use it.
Yeah, we 100% need to have one in section 4, but I'm not nearly educated enough to write that. I mean, I could write a stub. I throw stubs up for section 4 all the time so that we can have stuff in the hardware release notes. But this isn't really that kind of situation.
No.
You know who would probably be willing to write that is Lexi Winter. I'll ask her.
And while at it, a proper, more example-heavy description of her jail improvements. Sorry, bridge improvements.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she was writing something. I saw her writing something. Did you see? She's done a lot actually in the man page lately. But you said needed more examples.
So the problem with the bridge documentation is that it's split up between the ifconfig man page and the bridge man page, and you need both. And you basically already have to know what you want, because otherwise you're never going to put it together from the man page as is. So the ifconfig man page describes basically the options you can use. And then, especially
What
how
did you say? Overlap?
Yeah, partial overlap.
Thank you.
To reduce the or to increase the bandwidth available from the PCI bus actually.
Okay, I just told her about bridge.
So there is some. It's not that there's nothing. And if you put the handbook and the two main pages together, you can actually learn how to use it.
Okay, I told her.
In a nice way?
Yeah, of course. We're friends, I think.
Awesome. No, I didn't know that.
Well,
So,
we are
yeah,
friends.
randomly giving people assignments is something I sometimes get away with, but I caution anyone on that. Anyway, do you know if this will
I mean,
be
I just talk to my
MFC?
friends like that.
That's cool. Oh, wait, we're making sure I'm not a bot. Download speed. Okay.
I don't know. When people nominate me to
Thank
do
you.
stuff, I think they're
Oh,
my
MFC
friends.
after 3 days. Oh, Open ZFS Developer Summit 25. Reported by Levi Worley. Oh, there you go, Levi. Here's the official repo
Yes.
one. Thank you both.
While we are telling people, I think the DFS jail delegation could need some better documentation. As in a tutorial, my first delegated jail.
So, did you say ZFS jail?
ZFS jail command.
I can't. Oh, that's true.
And again, it's more like the bits are there, but you already have to know how to assemble them.
Yeah, this is a classic problem. You know, that's like we generally need, like, it either takes many iterations in order to produce that, or like to be written by an absolute expert in both the subject matter and in documentation engineering, which you almost never have that. And when you do have it, it gets stale so fast.
Where does one go right here and now to learn about that? Or they don't?
About what?
ZFS jail.
Oh, I would come here.
Well, no, that's not in base documentation that one can turn to. Is there a manual page, Jan, that gives it any justice?
The ZFS jail subcommand has its own main page, ZFS-jail.
Oh, okay. Previous ZFS-jail. Let's take a look, gang.
But it doesn't really tell you, for example, that, oh, by the way, your jail DevFS configuration has to expose the ZFS device. It just says that it needs access to it, but not how you make that happen. And by the way, your jail's root file system can't be jailed because you need to have a mount point.
You said root.
The root file system cannot be of the jail, cannot be a delegated data set.
Oh, slow down.
That's easy. We'll put that in caveats right now.
Hold on.
I think so.
So let's first
At least it
understand the
used to
problem
be.
before you fix
Maybe
the
with
problem, which you're
Kasiva
really
you
good
can
about.
make
I
it
appreciate
work.
God
that.
damn it.
Please explain that the root file system, what cannot be delegated in what regard?
No, as in the
Of the
root
host or
directory
jail?
of the jail must be on a not delegated file system because the mount point must already exist and so on. I wonder if you could do something nasty to make it work now that yeah.
Well, delegated as in not inheriting anything?
As in delegated to a jailed data set. Some of the documentations calls setting the ZFS jail on a data set, delegating it to a jail.
The root file system of the jail cannot be delegated with this utility.
I think
delegated
like
to what? That phrase
to the
is
jail.
I'm assuming you make a data set with jail contents that are bootable like a jail, or whatever you want to call it, executed like a jail, but delegated to what further from there? You're making it sound like you can't use a data set.
No, the problem you have to have the root directory of your jail on a file system which is not set with ZFS jail, because you have to run the ZFS jail command inside the jail, the ZFS mount command inside the jail. And that assumes that you have the ZFS mount command there and a device file system.
So the root file system of the jail cannot be mounted with this utility.
No, that command, the ZFS jail command, that does not mount it. It makes it available for mounting in the jail.
Okay.
So normally the host mounts the file systems, and the jail can't manage its own snapshots and so on. But if you set ZFS jail on the data set, then the jail can see and manage the admin commands on that data set and its children. Normally.
Good
So that
news.
way, let's say you want to run some kind of file server in a jail. Totally reasonable. But what if the file server wants to manage its own snapshots?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
We've
Yeah,
moved
I
on
kind
to
of
jail ZFS
did not look
issues.
at the time.
No worries. So we did talk
We
about
had a-
GPU pass through earlier, and the same SRIOV that you bugged that a few of you hit recently. But Alexei, hold tight while we get through something on ZFS jail, okay?
Okay.
1 second.
Yeah.
So, Jan, or at least Alexander, are we clear on what you are saying about what can and can't be done?
Jan needs to tell me. What I'm trying to write is the root file system of the jail cannot be delegated to the jail with this utility.
The root directory doesn't technically have to be a file system.
That's an important caveat. Thank you.
Okay, so the root
It's a
directory.
good idea when you're using ZFS to always create a file system as the root directory of your jail. It reduces the attack surface. It's often easier for management if you can.
Sure, but
snapshot
strictly
what's-
speaking, the limitation is the directory, not the file
Yeah.
system. Okay,
So the
so the root
directory
directory of the jail cannot be delegated to the jail with this utility.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to submit this, and
Or
since
cannot be on. It's a bit difficult to explain because I think you may be able to, but in that case, then you cannot. You have like a blocker before that, so you can never get into that state where you have the option of doing that.
interesting.
Inversely, does the jail root directory have to be a data set for this to work?
No,
Okay, then
it could be even on a FAT32 file system if you like pain and suffering.
So okay, let's first open up the manual page. It does what? Because a user will be familiar with like share NFS, share SMB, and that's the one place where other technologies trickle into ZFS. So if we're looking at this, attach or detach a ZFS file system from a jail. Okay. So you can have UFS-based jail or FAT32-based jail root file system, which would be a terrible thing, however you can do it. And this utility lets you drop a data set somewhere under that jail. Is that accurate? JFS jail ID, jail name file system. Do we have an example to snarf? Nope.
Nope.
Who is our expert on this present? Jan, have you used this in your nifty scripting and such?
Not really. I've played with it in the past.
Okay. So, Alexander, I don't know if we'll resolve that in this moment right here, but it sounds like we need to exercise it a bit and determine how to best convey this functionality, because I can see how that's exciting and cool and all, but unfortunately, I personally am not feeling what it can and can't do. Go ahead, Alexei.
Yeah, this may. Sorry.
Did I hear Alexei make a noise?
Sorry for not joining because I was just melting menthol to grow some crystals.
Okay, there are no obligations, but that's a different call each week we host.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, well,
So I'm getting pretty partial to like, okay, yeah, like we need to rewrite this whole thing and da 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 da. And it's like that's never going to happen. That's too big of a project. We don't know enough. Nobody's ever going to learn enough. We're just barely surviving. Like all we can do is like we have one complete logical change that is a sound commit. Like one complete idea, a caveat section that explains that the root directory of the jail cannot be delegated to the jail with this utility. That is a complete atomic change, and we should get that in the tree while we are so able. We may not be so able.
Repeat it then. Cannot be what?
The root directory of the jail cannot be delegated to the jail with this utility.
So
Okay, thank you.
that should, because maybe it would be better to say because the root directory of the jail has to exist before the jail is created. A jail and the so the thing is you have to have a running jail to jail the dataset to the running jail, and so the root directory must exist.
The root
So
directory of the
jails
jail
can,
cannot be.
so jails can only be created with a valid directory path. So the path
Created with the what directory
property.
path?
Valid.
So when you create a jail, you have to specify the path parameter. And that has to resolve to a directory. So that directory must already exist. And only once you have created this jail can you then take dataset and assign them to the running jail.
Okay, so it must exist. And what happens normally if you mount something on the host, a data set to a jail? It's ignored by the jail without this?
If you just mount it, it's fine. It's totally
Okay.
usable, except that the
Except
jail
that.
cannot use the ZFS command on it.
Okay.
This
Okay,
is about
this is
allowing
making
the
sense.
jail to take its own snapshots and using ZFS send receive and so on.
Okay.
So what you're telling me is that the root directory of the jail cannot be delegated to the jail with this utility because the jail must be running with a valid root directory.
As far as I remember, the jail can only be created with a already existing directory as its root directory. And you can only use the VFS jail command on existing jails. Because of that, you can never have done that before the jail existed.
Okay. Jan.
Okay, now we're getting into where we can write ourselves an introductory paragraph.
Right,
I think I understand enough to.
Yeah, I never understood this feature. Thank you very much. So that said, Jan, can a jail run ZFS commands on its own host data set, or that's the blocker? No, it can't. Have a nice day. Say you have a jail in a
ZFS jail
ZFS
command.
data set. Yeah.
If you use the ZFS jail command to give the data set into the administrative control of the jail, then the jail can use the ZFS commands on it. Mount, unmount, if you allow it to mount file systems. You have to set the allow.mount and allow.mount.zfs for that to work. You have to set the enforce.fs to 1 or 0, not 2, I think, for it to work correctly as well. So there are a bunch of caveats to make this work.
Okay. So yes, I guess we can do a baby step forward on making that more clear, but this sounds really cool and useful, but perhaps completely undocumented, unless there's some blog post we can snarf from, because I ain't.
You may want to look at the GitHub issue on Bastille adding support for this feature.
Okay.
Can we have a link?
I'm going to do a quick search here. If you can beat me to it, I'm sure you will.
It's issue 353.
Oh.
I will drop the link.
Thank you. Yay. Okay, because there's a lot more going on than one caveat. With a feature that sounds really, really cool. So that's the problem. We're doing a disservice to ourselves.
What do you mean that it allows you to run jail commands inside the jail?
It allows you to run ZFS commands inside the jail.
Like mount a snapshot data set, I'm assuming, which is a great thing to do in jail.
To make use of the jail command inside the jail, you have to allow it to have a non-zero number of children.
Oh, wait, you can create stuff inside of a jail?
You can create jails inside of jails.
Yes,
jails
I did not know that.
That is, for example...
That's the first time I'm hearing this.
one good reason to use this feature is to run Pudir inside a jail. But Pudir wants to use ZFS commands to efficiently set up the builder jails so that it takes a snapshot, and instead of deleting everything after it has built something, it just rolls it back. So you have your base jail image, it gets cloned for every builder, and there's a new snapshot, and every time you have built something, you just roll back the data set instead of trying to destroy it and create a new one, or even worse, trying to find all modified files and rewriting them or deleting the new files and recreating deleted files. So yeah. So if you want to efficiently run Pudir inside a jail, you need this feature. And because Pudir wants to use jails for sandboxing, you then want to give Pudir the opportunity to do that inside a jail, and thereby you just set it basically high enough that Pudir can do its work. So if you have so number of build workers, I think you need n+1 or something like that, allowed child jails.
Okay, now I'm starting to know enough to refactor this page.
And so the chicken and egg problem is that to jail a data set, you have to have the jail. And to create the jail, you have to have a root directory for the jail. I wonder what happens if you overmount the root directory of the jail and then mount /dev on top of it. If you could make that work, it may open up interesting attack surfaces against the jail subsystem if you can make it work. This used to be effectively impossible, but I wonder if my Kasiba tool could do it with something which was never intended to work.
Okay, this makes a lot more sense, and thank you, because I suppose if one looked at the manual page, they'd think, that doesn't tell me, holy crap, you can run Poudrier in a jail and do all of its normal behavior. And that's, of course, why it came out of the Bastille team, I assume. So, great. That is helpful. It's not bhyve, it's not jail, but it's not OpenZFS. It is ZFS. It's not the right call. I'm exhausted from the summit, but it was awesome. So, any other topics before we have perhaps circle back is what I'm trying to say, to the GPU pass-through of Intel Arc, because Alexei might have some more insights. Yes, Jan.
No, please continue.
Okay, so Jonathan, thank you for your patience listening to all this, because these aren't always super linear. I believe it was an Intel Arc B580 card that you have, and you tried passing it through on a machine, and it worked for like completely non-SRROV 1 second, Alexei. And then at an event this last few days, Levi, you found that we just remove this file, recompile the bhyve front end, and boom, it works. Alexei, is there a cleaner fix to this than simply deleting a file? I thought you had a patch for like checking the generation of each thing.
And I have a patch that I sent to, I think, Jan, or who did I send it to?
And you're very quiet at the moment. Let's see. As a patch.
I think Hans.
To Hans. Hans, are you with us? Let me look up. Yes, you are. And you should have mail from Deb. Let's see what's going on there.
I'm going to just look up in my mail. I have a patch that just has that just makes bhyve check if your GPU is in the list of all the GPUs that support GBTD. If it doesn't support it, then it uses the classic pass-through.
You have a public link to that of any kind?
I have just a couple of files.
Okay. Fine. Hans, did he indeed send you something related to that?
Did who send me what?
Did Alexei send you a patch
Oh,
to the
yes.
Intel handling that says, hey, it smells like you have this card, let's behave this way?
Yeah, I remember getting that, but I didn't have any time to look at it.
Will you have any
So,
time to look at it?
give me a second.
Cool.
There it is, September 25th. That was why we were in Zagreb, right?
Aha. Yes, that would have been deep, deep Zagreb.
Yeah, so I didn't really look at this yet. What exactly can I do with this? How can I help?
Changes that I did, not an actual like the dot patch file.
I'm sorry, Alexei, you're really
Yeah.
hard to understand.
You're quiet. Can you boost
Oh,
up?
I had my microphone set very low. Okay.
Oh, now you're bigger than my cat.
Okay.
Prior to deflow.
I believe
Okay.
I sent you only like a list of changes because I don't really know how to do a proper patch on that file.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So could you take a moment to just
It's
coordinate and say, hey,
there is
here's-
one new added file and only a couple of lines changed in the PCI GVT D.C file.
If I understand correctly, you need to turn this into a diff and upload
Yeah.
it to a factor to get a code review going.
Yeah.
Or
Okay,
you
I
could
think-
just try making a pull request against the FreeBSD GitHub repository and hope that it gets reviewed that way.
Oh.
Yeah.
A question:
Fine.
do we make a diff against
No,
the main branch?
One at a time, gentlemen. One at a time. Alexei has a question about making a diff. That's pretty
Okay.
important. What you got?
Do we make a diff against the main branch, or do we make a diff against like 14.3 where I made it originally?
Main.
Normally
Main,
against
okay.
main, unless it's for a bug fix, which is supposed. But normally, even then,
Okay.
if the bug is still
Against
present
main,
in
then.
in main, normally the fix goes in main and then gets pulled into stable and then into the release branches. If it ever gets pulled into the release engineering branches because the bug is bad enough or it's a security vulnerability which gets fixed.
You can absolutely send a pull request, and I will tell everybody. I already shared your blog post with the rest of the FreeBSD developers to much critical acclaim, including one of the longtime FreeBSD veterans wrote in all caps, "Ship it." So definitely
Which
blog
blog
post?
post?
the one where you get the pass through working.
Okay.
So you can definitely send a pull request.
Great. So yes,
Don't
any
worry
amount
about
of improvement there is pretty darn important. I've been negging for some time now, and I'm so glad you're back to this. I know you took a little break. Awesome. So please try to get that into review status and let me know if I have to bribe Colin or something. I don't know.
no,
is there a reason
we'll
why
tell
your
them
blog
anyway.
is not available via HTTPS?
Oh, he had some issues and you thought, oh, you'll relocate it to your home and then you lost all power or something or something. So what's going on with your
Yeah, I was
blog?
trying to relocate the website to my home, and then it just my power went out right when I was doing that.
Okay.
Oops.
I was just confused because I tried it and just got a 404.
Yeah, it's HTTP only. I'm going to host it like tomorrow from HTTPS.
Ладно.
Спасибо.
Okay, so thank you for that. So yes, let's try to get a meaningful review out of that because around the world in the last 72 hours, we determined the problem. We found a totally wonky workaround, but yes, Intel has proudly been changing their GPU strategy over the years. And thank you for making sense of that. So, welcome, Heartbleed, our heartthrob.
Thank you.
Welcome. Is this your very first Beehive call?
It actually is.
Would you like to introduce yourself once I have your name at the top here as my browser goes really slowly?
Yeah, I am Heartbleed or Jeroen, and I am Dutchy, and I work with Beehive every other day.
What is your use case for Beehive?
Complex virtualization, because OpenBSD kind of sucks in it.
Bro, using Beehive in production every day for complex Virt that OpenBSD VMM cannot handle.
Yeah, so basically multi-core or different guest operating systems.
Do you do that on UFS just to be loyal to your OpenBSD roots?
No, of course not. I use
I
ZFS.
know, I'm baiting you. Okay, cool. Multi-core and different guest OSs on ZFS. That said, do you have a list of guest OSs that you have had excellent or terrible experiences with?
I have decent experience with OpenBSD as a guest OS.
Nice.
With hardened BSD, which basically is FreeBSD.
Mm-hmm.
And with every Linux distro, basically.
Popular ones? You're welcome to name some specific ones.
Also with Windows Server 2020 something.
Cool. Can you name some Linux distros that solve problems, make money, do the thing?
They all work. That are the ones that I tried. So that is Arch Linux, CentOS, Debian. Yeah. Yeah, and that's basically it, I think.
Cool. That said, by the way, there's a production user call every week for this very topic, and it sounds like you're in production, so
yeah.
Better late than never. Any questions that are open and outstanding and needing attention? And Alexander, I'm going to mute you because of background noise, although hearing about PCI performance at your employer is kind of cool, but they might not like that. Go ahead, Jeroen.
I don't have any questions right now. Just happy to join.
All working? All of it? Working flawlessly?
I haven't really prepared any questions before joining this call.
Oh, if something's nagging you, it wouldn't be a question, but it sounds like you're doing great, is my point.
Yeah, I am.
Okay. That said, have you done any GPU pass-through?
No, I did not.
Well, we've been discussing that some on the call, and hopefully that will be a much more glorious experience in FreeBSD 15. Fingers crossed. I know it's late in the game, but we're finding things when we find them. So thank you, Alexi and Hans and others who are making that happen. Even the last few days at a local event here, we got something working, and that's a key data point on that.
Yeah, at which release is FreeBSD 15 right now? Is it still alpha tech?
Beta something?
Okay, yeah.
I've been too busy with an event to check.
I should
Jan, you would know.
I do run Beehive, but I run it on hardened BSD hypervisors and not FreeBSD.
Okay, now there is a topic I have absolutely not explored. Can you tell us what issues or surprises or advantages or anything you found in running Beehive on hardened BSD?
The package names were a bit different, at least back when I installed the hypervisors. So I think
Okay.
that was around the ED2K firmware.
Okay.
And I did not have to disable any exploit mitigations that HardBSD has that
That's the
FreeBSD
question.
doesn't have.
Okay.
So that wrote just out of the box.
Yeah, that's great. Great. And no, or is that not good news because, hey, it's supposed to be mitigating all the things that a dangerous VM could do? Need to be disabled.
It does. So HardBSD basically mitigates classes of exploits.
Okay.
And I didn't have the time to really think with it and to try to break it and break out of a guest VM or something. I still would love to do that one day when I have
That
the
would
time.
be a great conference talk, buddy.
Yeah,
Just
totally.
Unless you compromise the host kernel, if you own just the bhyve process, you're still inside a capsicum sandbox.
Yeah, also that, yeah.
And if you really want to, you can then run bhyve inside a jail. So then you're inside a capsicum sandbox inside of a jail. I've done that, it works well, but it's annoying to configure.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry.
The one benefit of doing that is capsicum, right?
If that you get that free of
Capsicum is
charge
by
along the
default.
way. Yeah, that
The
you
capsicum
get
is
free
by
of charge.
default. With a jail, you get both. Just bhyve virtual machine security plus capsicum plus a jail.
Ah, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
So
and
even if
note
somebody
that-
escapes capsicum, they still need to escape the jail.
I'll get you a link from Chris Mortz, who has done a bunch of that for the previous Eurobased Econ. Gave a great talk on it. So hold tight for that. Daniel Bell, wait a minute. This party is heating up. Levi had to take off. Okay. Let's see. Daniel, we've just discussed hardened BSD bhyve with Heartbleed. What brings you to the
Thanks.
table today?
Well, that sounds great. Well, I'm over my jet lag, so there's that.
Sweet. Why would you have jet lag?
Well, the
Where you been?
OpenZFS Summit in Portland, Oregon, and boy, was it great.
Really? Tell us more.
Yeah. Yes, but there was not enough talk about bhyve, in my opinion.
Well, actually, funny you mentioned that. I have some thoughts right there based on the discussion. So let's hear what's on your mind and then let's dive into that.
I don't really have anything. I'm basically trying to get deployment with cloud in it working really, really fast. And I was going to ask a question about cloud in it, and I can only seem to get one key to import properly. I can't get multiple keys, and I was wondering if I'm doing something stupid, or maybe I should be using the bhyve command line and not the vm-bhyve. But yeah, I can only get one key working.
So when
What
you're
kind of
talking
key?
about cloud init and keys, what type of keys are you talking about? SSH keys?
Yeah, SSH keys.
Oh, okay,
That's right.
that's
And
kind of
are you
important.
using the full cloud init client or the FreeBSD base system cloud init client?
I am using whatever vm-bhyve uses, because I am not doing it. I'm not doing it old school. I'm doing it managed with vm-bhyve. You know what? Why don't I spit out the commands right now, and I can tell you what I'm doing and what I'm doing wrong.
Because
And have you looked
FreeBSD, I
at
think 42 and newer have this new age init, or however you're supposed to pronounce it.
is that Collins one?
It's
Colin Percival's nifty
the
one?
Lua one.
Okay. As I recall, he has an alternative for this purpose, and you might want to ditch
That's
what
config in it. It's part of
config in
his
it. Ah.
it's part of his um, elect Elastic Cloud 2 scripts or whatever port. Of course, this command isn't Elasticsearch specific. Other than that, the rc.b script fetches the config payload from a hard-coded IP address in the rc.d script, because that's what Amazon tells you to do. So that, and the config init payload is a tarball of tarballs. And if a file basically begins with a shebang line, it gets executed. If it begins with hash redirect, it gets written to a file. If it starts with hash append to file, so double redirect, it is appended to a file, and then if it is neither of those, it's assumed to be something that archive understands, and it will recursively try to unpack that. I think because it's written in shell with the FreeBSD tar command, it will implicitly work for CD6960 file systems. So I guess you could make it work with something like that. Then there's Cloud Init, which is a bloated mess. I don't know, remember, but I think it pulls in close to 200 random packages as a dependency.
Ew.
It's the Cloud Init stuff because it pulls in so many tiny Python libraries. It just has a very long dependency list because it can do so many different things, and then it needs a Python binding for this thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it all has to be there because you can't dynamically load something and use pip install before the network is up and stuff like this. And we have a base system Lua reimplementation of the essentials of Cloud Init. And that reimplementation can get its configuration from a device you pass into the virtual machine, which has the right file system. I think supported are FAT32 and one more. Yeah, CD6960. And you can create an ISO file system with tar and put your config payload in there, and then make it available as a read-only block device to vm-bhyve. And in theory, that should work, but I could never be bothered to deal with that.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's the command I use, and now I'm trying to spelunk through the vm-bhyve code to see if I can figure out how it's handling Cloud Init. But I don't have these packages you're talking about, like these millions of packages.
So -k is a vm-bhyve semantic, I take it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's see what it says in the man page. It does not say in the man page. It is not a publicly, it's not in the man page at all. Okay.
Oh,
So anyway,
Alexander,
this is
help us with
great
the party
because
thing.
I use this to crap out, like, basically these are my Docker hosts. So
Okay.
I spawn a bunch of Docker, I tweak the image a bit, and then I spawn a ton of Docker hosts, and then I can Docker. I can Docker all day. And then I finish testing, and then I try to build it in FreeBSD, and I'm successful about 72% of the time.
So, given that the VM command is written in shell,
yeah, it should be easy to find.
the -k flag is probably just passed with get op s and stored in a variable. Unless you implemented special logic so that you can use it multiple times, only the last value sticks. The question is, will they accept multi-line files, or do they only read the first line out of the file?
Oh, that's a good question. I wonder if I could hack it to
If you just add multiple lines, keys in a single file, will it just copy the whole file?
without the you mean without the new line? Because it doesn't work with the new line.
With the new line?
Yeah. So if I do
So you
yeah,
have
so
multiple
if I have
lines
multiple keys, it does not work.
in a single file.
Yeah. You know what? I could show you the output from from Cloud Init also. Okay, so let's see. VM core is the file that handles Cloud Init. And let's see. Public key file, enable Cloud Init true. What is it calling? Can't write seed ISO for Cloud Init. No,
Were you going to share? You're sharing? Oops.
I can't. I'm on my phone. I'd have to.
Okay.
I could switch, but vm-core. Yeah, I think this is hard coded to handle only one. This might be a bug in vm-bhyve. It's not actually a bug in whatever vm-bhyve is running.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I have to figure out what it's. So it creates the ISO, and then what is the mechanism by which the VM does the VM's Cloud Init just knows to look at the ISO file to load the
So
keys,
Cloud
or
Init had some auto detection if you have um, an ISO file system with the right label.
Mhm.
Then it will mount that or read it by some other means and extract the configuration to apply.
I say.
I think you can also make it, in theory, I think also supports VIrtIO also VSOC, which is not implemented on FreeBSD. And obviously, because we don't have a VSOC right now.
It's
And
just
you can
yeah,
also pull it over the network, but that requires some networking to be set up. So the best way to do it apparently is to expose your configuration as a block device, because
okay.
finding partition tables on block devices is something files, operating systems already do, and basically doesn't need additional configurations. You don't need a DHCP client on an interface. So yeah.
Okay, I see. It's okay. So the Cloud Init is not documented because it's ghastly hard-coded stuff. It's it's completely bananas. Oh yeah, the YAML it's in YAML. It doesn't process multiple keys. Yeah. This is I see. It's generating hard-coded it's generating hard-coded YAML.
So it's generating YAML with shell.
And then packing that into an ISO, and that's how it works. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah. So it's not so it and it's guessing, it's guessing various network information, it's hard coding random values, it's assuming one network device. It's not this could use a nice PR. This is actually it would be really sweet if this was a little more robust, but we have deduced why my only one key works with the vm-bhyve's Cloud Init. But it does a good job. I mean, it's great that it's in there. I appreciate that it's in there.
So it looks like we have the documentation in your in 7
In base?
in base
Okay.
for
There you
it
go.
has grown in time and features, so depending on which FreeBSD version, it may have different features. So yeah, And it does support SSH keys and SSH authorized keys and SSH password of time zone, host name, fully qualified domain name, and a bit of networking stuff.
I smell a weekend project. Okay, cool, gang.
Yeah, this is totally
The ability
fixable.
to just
Just
run arbitrary commands at the end of a boot process. So you have your escape hatch if something is missing. You can create users. You can have it update the package metadata. You can have it upgrade the packages to the latest version. Right. So apparently it has grown in 15.
hmm Yeah, that could use some TLC. That would be yeah, that would be a great thing. I mean, I could PR this. This is something that even I can do.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
the nice way to do it would be to add the option to give the -k option multiple times to read multiple files, and
yeah,
potentially also to support
multiple
multi-line
files, but
files.
yeah, but if it's like an authorized key file, that seems like a
It should be
so what
multi-line.
Oh
yeah,
yeah, we got vm-bhyve working on the docs.
Oh, that's a nice segue to my nice topic. Thank you very much. So, other topics and heads up, some of us will be at the FreeBSD Summit in San Jose next week. So I suppose I probably won't be on the call. There's a slight chance, but probably not.
it still
So
says vendor
that's it.
summit on all their stuff, and this is the reason why I'm not
Well,
going.
but you're a vendor, dude. So I don't
Oh,
I
all
cannot
right,
explain
fair,
that
fair.
schizophrenia if it is indeed a vendor summit, a storage summit, a summit summit, or what. I don't care, but here it is, and it's a
I
pretty good
think the
event.
next
And Hans, it sounds like we will discuss that. But I am slightly concerned that when your proposal went to the foundation, they started pawning it off to others immediately. So, uh-oh, was that
which
recorded? I'm
proposal?
sorry. Bummer. Oh, to do CPU ID work. The foundation for live migration, ergo, like the thing people want. So I didn't say that out loud. Everybody, I have two takeaways from I was going to say last week's, but no, like almost virtually yesterday's, day before yesterday's Open ZFS Summit in Portland, Oregon. And it was Open ZFS. It is testing and docs. So that said, we very much identified points in the whole test suite that non-kernel developers and file system developers can work on, like little cache, as Archie put it, KSH scripts that drive everything that might have some like non-POSIXisms that might need attention or can broadly be improved. Or perhaps we
Ash is
can
as
be
good as sysctl.
well, there you go.
Sorry.
That's a whole different that we have yet another college week about terminology. So hold tight for that call announcement. That said, the fact that all the tests kick off into GitHub Actions and their builders and testers and thingamabobbers, if we were to have a hypervisor that is closer to home on, say, at least one OS with OpenZFS support, that could be a good thing. So I am looking for help to do perhaps even a hackathon as soon as maybe this weekend to just sit down with the test suite on various hardware and bhyve and try to tighten that entire feedback loop such that we allow, say, 1,000 flowers to bloom on testing, such as PyZFS test, which Andrew Walker explained quite a bit about, who's working at TrueNAS. So lots going on there.
So we
Time
have
to-
a hypervisor in FreeBSD, and we have this really nice file system with copy on write semantics and efficient snapshotting and rollbacking. So why the hell is the test suite written with the assumption that it's running on a commercial 1990s Unix, where it doesn't have
It's from
proper
Sun. They've
virtualization?
updated it as needed. End of discussion. So let's bring it into the modern era. People like you,
So
people like our kitchen crew Stu, he's like, I can script through tests. He can't write a kernel module, but he can sure help out there. And
what I mean
Joseph
is,
was quite enthusiastic about helping. So there I said it. Yes,
What I
Jan.
was,
We know the problems.
yeah, what is the um, more constructive way of putting that with a little
Yes, please.
less snark is that we could use
Actionable is my
ZFS.
phrase. Actionable. Go
No,
ahead.
not immediate actionable. It's not. But if we were to write something a little bit like Rob's quiz,
Yes, I
what
brought that
was
up several times
I know, so have I.
at the
Um,
summit this week.
and we had Rob as well. So
Yes.
it's not that much code to do, and you could probably hook up um Beehive like that. It would be interesting to see if it's better to use Beehive on its own or even the old Beehive load boot process, because maybe that's a faster way to set up a virtual machine if you don't go through the EFI boot process
Yeah,
and hardcode a bunch of things. And then you could
exactly.
have Z-Vaults where you keep your test data on and so on, and could potentially mount in the tests via 9PFS, or you
You're
just
getting
copy
it.
them
You're
in
getting
over
it.
TTYs,
Yep.
and you could make it interactive so that the whole virtual machine in single user mode basically feels like an, a yeah, like a shell. And then you could script stuff.
Well, not
And
feel like a shell. That might be critical for the test suite doing its thing if it is that tightly, beautifully integrated. So roll with it, buddy. Jam session here. Make it happen.
yeah, they could, sure, why not append one more project to my to-do list?
It's an append only to-do list, like anyone else has created in this weird environment we operate in.
How violent are you supposed to be in when you're sending a PR to somebody?
How violent?
Yeah,
Be polite, be
because
respectful. Go watch my talk on this exact
okay,
subject
I will.
from
All right, I'll do that.
EuroBSDCon and BSDCan. But what's your
It's not yet
question? Phrase it
online,
as a
but
Because
BSD
question.
can.
because he's storing a cat of the public key in a file, but he could just stream the public keys into the YAML if the file size isn't zero. And
Where
then
the code? Can you drop a link?
Wait, when you say he vm-bhyve, and who's got
yeah,
Dutchin back or something?
yeah,
Oh, Alexander,
you could
you
just
dudes.
this is a one-line fix.
So Daniel,
Yes.
Churchers has largely checked out, and Antranig kind of sort of claims he's picking up the reins among his 400 other append only to-do list projects. So
He
Antranig
was
as a
sending me a
service will say
Delta patch
I'll look
also.
at that and and fix it, and not necessarily do it very quickly without much prodding. But heck, I
Actually,
would
So
see
is
if
if we
he's
he
around
use,
if you want to poke him.
so
if we
he's
wanted to make
he's a
it,
maintainer? So I can
Sort of, maybe, kind of. Let me nudge him. Go ahead, Jan. Go ahead and respond while I nudge.
if we
I'm
want to
nudging.
make the ZFS toolchain even more FreeBSD dependent, we could also use the jail subsystem to do tear up and set up and tear down,
Yep.
and use a
Use which
nested jail. So
subsystem? Wait, Beehive for that, or you said something in addition to Beehive? Or set up
no,
Oh,
and tear
no,
does
if you
down?
wanted,
vm-bhyve work on? I don't think
you,
vm-bhyve works on a Limos.
No, I don't think so.
no, it doesn't.
So yeah, why not?
Oh, I'll
And
just
I
throw in
wouldn't
those
use,
phrases.
I would just use Beehive directly, because you need, I think, to make it work as nice as Quiz, you have to create your own sort of terminal device. So you need to write probably 100 or 200 lines of C to make it work as nicely as I intend to have it work.
Oh, I'm not helping with that.
Mhm. It shouldn't be hard because it's a one-to-one relationship. So you don't have to do any fancy multiplexing.
That is the most Jan statement ever. I love it.
Hmm?
Nothing. I'll ask
So
Rob. So to Beehivify quiz. Do we need a pseudo terminal device? A native pseudo terminal device?
Well, it's POSIX has APIs to do it, and the different operating systems do it differently. So the
Alrighty.
pseudo terminal stuff may even be portable to Linux in theory. But of course, we
Okay.
don't have vHive. So there's no need for them to have this. And apparently, Rob already made it work with QEMO on Linux.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
i-
Well,
if you accept that standard out and standard error are the same serial device, then you wouldn't have to do it. But if you want to have standard error be distinct from standard out, then you need something a little cleverer so that you can split it apart.
okay. So we have covered an amazing amount of ground. Hartley, you still with us? Do you have any new topics? You've been a fresh hurricane of fresh air. I'm trying to mix my metaphors there as always.
Let me think about that for a second.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that Churches wasn't actively maintaining vm-bhyve anymore, and it was taken over by the FreeBSD Foundation Git group.
But handled by a group, not an individual. So it's sort of
Yeah,
unclear.
that's one committer now basically being active.
Oh, what name
So
do you
now-
see showing up for that?
So basically now it's orphaned, but we can get, before it was orphaned and it was locked, and now it's orphaned and we can get patches.
Yeah, but there's someone is being actively committing to it.
Dev username?
That person
Sorry
has
if I
the
missed it.
nickname Meta Lefty.
Metal Lefty, that's a new one. Okay, cool. Yay.
I will
So
share
the
link.
old repository was this one. I put it in chat, and it redirects you to the FreeBSD
Oh, really?
organization repository of the same name.
Exactly that one, yeah.
Oh,
And yeah, if we look at the commit history, there are commits from like 2 days ago.
no
Yep.
way. Sweet.
But yeah, it's stuff like handle issue of VM name contains VNC.
Yeah,
Apparently
some
that-
and it's V6 as well.
Ah.
That one was 3 weeks ago.
Are you an IPv6 shop?
Totally.
Cool.
Or as Henning calls it, das neue protocol.
Repeat that. Henning calls it
Das neue protocol.
does
The
know
new
ya.
protocol. And
I heard him call it IPv6.
IPv4 is das alte protocol. That's the old protocol.
Ah.
Yeah, I like to piss off people who are not IPv6 ready in the real world to tell them. No, I was talking about IP, not legacy IP.
Legacy IP, yes. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Or
I think it
Boomer
was
IP.
around the 1st of April 2002. And Henning submitted a patch to OpenBSD that because the PF developers are all Dutch, are all German, and because of the events in the US, that they would change the language of PF to German.
There you go.
Verboten.
Yeah, and rather than quick, it's snel, snel, snel.
Yes. Oh.
It can still be found somewhere in the mailing list.
Oh, I think we have a proposal for an IP Fool's Day joke, for an April Fool's Day joke.
Yeah, totally.
Because just changing the pf.conf man page and translating all the keywords.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Henning's patch does.
Okay.
Let me try to find it.
Fantastisch. Other topics while we're at it. Aleki, how are your crystals coming? Hans, do you have any questions? And I suppose we'll talk about that proposal in the next few days. What else is going on?
I've updated the reviews for VIrtIO SCSI if anyone wants to take a look.
On Illumos only?
No, on
Ooh,
FreeBSD.
cool. Oh, do you have links? Links, please.
Well, I don't have links, but I
Okay.
can tell you
Uh,
D5
Oh, hold on.
5.
Before you do that, my browser is going nuts as always. Okay, so
And by the way, if you want to do string quoting and unquoting in your patch, you can use the this command. That's FreeBSD specific, but okay. It allows you access to string quoting and unquoting functions from shell, basically.
and those numbers were
So it's D3 465
okay. Oh,
466
I think I dropped a digit there. D34.
D5 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the next one is 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70.
Okay, cool.
Corvin asked that I split one of the patches into multiple smaller ones, so that's all of them. And then there's 3 more. It's D53221.
Okay. Come on, computer.
I had the crystal inside of the liquid like suspended
Really?
on a string, but it fell in, so
Tragic.
it just all grew from bottom to top like this.
Okay,
I
photos
sent it
when
in
you're ready.
the
Very
chat.
good. Thank you. So Hans, it was D53221. That sounds like a while ago.
Right.
Or
There's 22 and 23.
okay, I'll take a peek and throw them in there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we do have crystal pictures in the chat. Oh, scrolling down. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Cool. Other final thoughts, ideas, concerns, questions, funny jokes, conference ideas. Well, thank you, everyone. We covered some very, very good territory. And I've got a whole lot coming out of the recent OpenZFS Summit. Looking around the room.
I just shared a patch of Henning to translate it to German on the chat.
Take a peek at that. Our friends at Zoom isn't auto-scrolling, so I have to scroll down. Okay. Have you listened to the show Heartbleed?
To the show?
Have you heard the recordings of these in the past?
No, I read the notes a couple of times, but
Okay.
I didn't watch the recordings.
So if I was to use the phrase, would you like the honors? Would you know what that refers to?
No, sorry.
Ooh, okay. Well, who else would
I can
like the
demonstrate.
honors? You can? Okay. Well,
Yes.
so for your enlightenment, we've got Alexander enthusiastically demonstrating what it means to have the honors. Let her rip.
Okay, guys, smash up that like button, subscribe for more content.
Did you intentionally mute? He probably had some background news, or it was noise, or it was very, very efficient. Anyway, I'll do my best to clean up the doc with these review numbers, and thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you all and have a great evening.
You too. Bye.